In 2001, a bowl of noodles dating back to around 4,000 years ago was discovered in Guanting, a town located in Qinghai province. The noodles were made of millet. Its discovery settled disputes over the origin of noodles. Guanting became world famous because of the first bowl of noodles ever discovered. For the Tu ethnic minority living in the town, noodles are not only a staple, but also a tradition that has lasted for thousands of years. Guanting is located in Minhe County in Qinghai province. Facing Gansu province across the Yellow River, Guanting is 200 kilometers away from the provincial capital, Xining. Once it was an important ferry on the southern route of the Silk Road that linked the Qinghai-Tibet Plateau with inland China. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. Liu Xiaoming and his family are already up. Making a fire, warming the furnace and fermenting the dough, they're preparing for the most important festival of the Tu people, known as the Nadun Festival.
这个土族过纳顿节的时候啊，还不光是这个就是跳纳顿、跳舞挪鞋、跳舞啊，还有就是大家就是每家每户，还有亲戚们要到这家里来。家里来嘛，我们是北方民族，这是主要是以面食为主，哎，蒸大蒸饼，再一个做面条。 但是我们的面条实际就是不像机器面，就那不行，要自己要擀上，擀上以后呢，擀上以后要切上，切上以后就是这个面条是特别好吃。
During the Nadun festival, the Tu people feast with and entertain their relatives and friends. At noon, they dance Nadun dances on the threshing ground. Liu Xiaoming is the lead dancer, whose singing is famous across the area.
纳顿是土族人的一种传统节日。
纳顿什么意思呢？
纳顿就是玩娱乐、玩耍的意思。
哦，纳顿节在那个土族当中是个什么样的比赛？
他每年呢举行一次，从农历的7月12一直到9月15，历时63天，被称为成为世界上最长的狂欢节。
哦，那就跟那个汉人过春节一样。
它比春节还有重要。
是吗？
它比有用的，它几个村的全都在欢乐的跳。
对，都在穿起了盛装跳舞。
对，跳。
This festive dance is the Nadun dance. The Nadun festival is held every autumn to celebrate the harvest. Though it's not yet dinner time, people have already imbibed a lot of wine. Liu tells us that the wine is made from the highland barley that they planted themselves. For the farmers toiling year-round in the fields, a good harvest is a great reward. The elders cry "excellent" again and again in thanksgiving for the harvest and in the hope that next year's sowing goes well. The main crop in Guanting is wheat. The Tu people's diet is quite different from that of people from other areas. Mutton and wheat flour-based food is the staple of their diet. Housewives here excel in cooking wheat flour-based food, which makes them feel proud. The Liu family is now making a large bread-based dish. It's an offering at the Nadun dances, and a most important dish for feeding one's friends during the festival. The bread is over ½ a meter in diameter and takes up almost the entire steamer. Is it really necessary to make such a large loaf of bread? Liu tells us that making such a large amount of bread is to feed a lot of people. During festivals, when many relatives come to visit, they need dozens of these large loaves of bread to feed their guests. Besides steaming, the two people also make bread using a special baking method, which locals call kun. The kneaded dough is cut with flower patterns and placed in an iron pan. Then it's heated gently in the fireplace, using dried grass as fuel. Bread made this way is crispy yet soft inside. It has the smoky fragrance of burned grass, giving it a great taste, which makes it quite popular. The Liu family has been busy all morning in preparation for receiving their guests. While they're chatting with their guests, the dishes are served. Mr. Liu is singing a traditional drinking song of the Tu nationality to toast 3 glasses of Highland barley spirits with his guests. As a form of respect, he makes the toasts standing while the guests remain seated. If any guest stands up, he will have to drink another 3 glasses. During the festival, there are only mutton and wheat-based dishes on the two people's dining table. For them, these 2 dishes are not just food, but also represent their heritage. The field of Guanting is a good example of the rough-hewn and simple style of northwestern China. One can feel the Gobi Desert atmosphere through these adobe houses. The two people number about 200,000, 90% of whom live in the Minhe and Huchu counties of Qinghai province. Research has confirmed that the two people originated from the Tu Yuhun tribe, who migrated from Liaoning province to Qinghai over 1,000 years ago. While they were conquering the Qinghai plateau, they also absorbed the local customs there. Thus, the two people came into existence. Today, shaman dances are preserved in the Nadun dances. The Nadun festival is a large farming ritual, but a touch of nomadic culture is still apparent in some of its dances. The dancers swing their swords as if to tell people that they were once a nation on horseback. Though the two people have long ago given up the nomadic lifestyle, they've retained their traditional love for mutton, and they prefer to eat mutton with their hands. It's the main dish on the prairie. Their favorite method of cooking mutton is known as bear cooking. They adopt the simplest method in order to maintain the original taste of mutton. After being boiled in a pot of spring water and with a handful of salt sprinkled over the top, the mutton is ready. Qinghai mutton used to be presented as a gift of tribute to the imperial family. When Kublai Khan captured Beijing, he personally ordered Qinghai mutton for the royal family. Early autumn is the season of luxuriant grass and fattened sheep. It's the best time to eat fresh mutton. The crude method of bear cooking preserves the meat's natural flavor.
这个羊肉我觉得特别香。我来这边已经吃了很多次这个羊肉，但是我觉得今天吃的这个怎么和之前感觉不一样？
但是这个羊肉啊，是肉是一样的啊，但是呢，这个是拿7比4的药水或者偏水放的。咱们这个什么都没放，这羊肉，但是什么调料都没放，
什么都没放，
所以煮出来就是好吃。
觉得特别香，然后越嚼越有劲儿。
对。
Where is the Qili temple that produces this mysterious spring water? In a small scenic valley outside of town, there are 11 medicinal springs. For over 1,000 years, the two people have revered this natural spring. As a form of nature worship, it's influenced by shamanism.
这个叫泉水呢，据西宁府续志记载，这个叫泉水呢，饮之余味极。
就这个水啊？
啊，就这个水，看怎么样？
气泡啊！
哎，就是你看，
很多水有些不一样，
对
对吧？
像那个汽水那样的，
对。
哎，有点气泡，你看，好不好？
我试一下。
哎，你试一下。哎，这个要说神奇的啊。
感觉有一股涩味儿，
是，
就是你要喝起来感觉也不是，
它的胜似啤酒啊，
还有点
比啤酒还好喝，
像汽水是吗？
哎，是，
就这个这个水和那个普通的水有什么不一样？
啊，不一样，它这个里含有多种的微量元素，你看我们这里面有好多我们藏区的川藏甘宁的好多，哎，藏族同胞们，哎。
Why is the spring water good for the stomach? Does it have any scientific basis? Our crew invited specialists from a lab to analyze the spring water.
哎，咱们就开始取了，还冒气泡呢，这个。
3 days later, our crew was told of the test results by the Water Bureau of Minhe County. Is there any scientific proof for the magical effects of the spring water?
按照矿泉水标准来说呢，它有这个硒，还有偏硅酸，还有有二氧化碳达到国家标准。特别这个硒呢，超过国家标准这是2倍，偏硅酸达到国家标准是4倍。 这都是符合矿泉水卫生标准的。它呢，这个硒还有偏硅酸，还有这个有二氧化碳，都对胃肠有保护作用。
二主席啊，
哎，你好。
这个地方为什么叫官亭？
官亭是因为古代啊，这个地方是一个临京古渡，所以呢，走过的这个官员啊，这些僧人呐，相对比较多，叫做黄河临京关。正因为这有了这个渡口啊，这个自汉朝以来呢，近2000年。 这个渡口一直在使用，还有唐朝的文成公主进藏和亲，也是从这个临京关渡过来进入青海的，所以呢，在这个官亭的这个地方啊，当时的行政机关呢修了一个亭子，它的取名叫界官亭，因此呢，官亭的地名因此而得名。
The yellow river that flows slowly through Guanting has nourished the land for thousands of years. Abundant water and generous sunshine make it an ideal place for crops to grow. Guanting, for many centuries, has been a land of abundance on the Qinghai Plateau. The Lajia cultural site, located in Lajia village of Guanting town, is the only large-scale disaster relic ever found in China. A discovery during its excavation thrilled archaeological circles. It was a bowl with a mysterious substance in it, which instantly deteriorated upon exposure to air. Tests of the residual content confirmed it to be a bowl of millet noodles from 4,000 years ago. Ye Maolin, leader of the archaeological team, spoke with our crew about the excavation.
是一个碗，陶碗，齐家文化的，然后倒扣在我们编号为20号房子。揭开的时候发现了，就觉得非常惊讶。我认为老家遗址的面条是基本上可以说是空前绝后，不可能再有这样类似的情况再发现一个。
Though we cannot see the noodles today, the discovery settled all arguments about the origins of noodles. It also tells us that over 4,000 years ago, Guanting was already a hospitable place for farming activity. It's perhaps thanks to its abundance of resources that the two people eventually settled down here. They gave up their nomadic lifestyle and settled for an agrarian one. They embraced the tradition of making noodles. The locals' love for noodles is reflected in what they eat. Noodle restaurants are always teeming with customers. A hot bowl of noodles is a perfect start to the day. Guanting has many restaurants offering various types of noodles. Our crew entered one and ordered a big bowl. Today's noodles are no longer made of millet. Wheat-based food is deeply rooted in many aspects of life in the town. It's even an integral part of a very important ceremony. This is a typical two-family courtyard. A traditional wedding ceremony is going on at the moment. The Tu minority believes that the Naodun festival is a season of happiness and harvest. Therefore, it's the best time of year to get married. The star dish on the wedding day is still wheat-based food. Oddly, the most important person at the wedding is neither the bride nor the groom, but the matchmaker. As matchmaker, Dong Se-ming has remarked that the highlight of the whole ceremony is playing tricks on the matchmaker. What does that mean?
这是什么呀？
这是一个玄马，它是一个野草
啊，一种野草。
野草。
哦，
就是昨天早上，我们去这个山。
这上面还有刺呢。
对动，
还有点扎手哈。
它就是一个笃信的东西，不能动这个。戴上手套之后，才能摘这个东西啊。
哦，得戴上手套。
啊，戴上手套，这个的话你不行，不动的话就手，反正。
那这个
马上就肿起来。
这是干什么的呀？
它是吃的东西。
这吃的呀？这个。
啊，它是吃的东西。
这能吃吗？这个。
能吃。
玄马。
这就是玄马，完了以后把它拿过来连到锅的，来了以后再晒干了以后磨成这样子，这样就可以炖熟了。啊，这个就是你看，我现在
这个最后变成这个样子。
变成这个样子了。哦。完了以后这个晒干，再经过再晒干，在锅里面再焙干，干了以后，就在这个一个这东西。 给它塌的碎碎的，
然后再
塌成粉末似的，
啊，最后就成这样了，是吧？
成这样了。
然后碾碎了以后，咱们这个是可以怎么吃呢？这个
你看啊，这样了以后，完了以后给它用塌的细细的，那就焙面吧，就面粉
啊，像面粉一样
啊，面粉，还有花椒和等等调料，完了以后就是薄薄的那个面，就是擀上这个油饼。 就是薄薄的饼子，
薄薄的那种
啊，薄薄的饼子，
就最后做成饼了是吧？
啊，饼子卷起来的那个样子好像是跟口袋一样，啊，跟口袋一样，就是这个好像是两边都是开着的，中间一切的话，后面就是两边都是开着，就是好像是个背口袋似的，
啊，像背口袋
啊，背口袋，就口袋就是那个用毛线织的那个，就是我们这有那个口袋就是那个口袋。
哪一个？
那个敲钟了，那就是口袋。
那种口袋。
那是口袋。这个做出来样子是这样子，好像是。
你看
它的形状好像口袋，就是口袋。
这个东西做出来能好吃吗？
能好吃。
Nettle is common in inland areas. As Mr. Dong had mentioned, before being processed, it's poisonous and coarse like sandpaper. Is it really possible to eat it? The nettle bag seems like such a strange concept. What does it taste like? What role does it play in the wedding ceremony?
Ah, 你看，
这是什么呀？
这就是刚才不是外面那个磨的那个玄麻粉？
这就是我们刚才磨的那个东西。
就是外面磨的那个玄麻粉吧？
做成那个饼吗？
啊，现在就做上饼子了嘛。
啊，就是糊在这个上面的东西是吧？
里面就卷起来。
哦，
就好像
做的，
好像是一个口袋似的。
哦，
这个你尝一下，
行，我尝一下。
你看好吃不好吃？你先尝尝啊。
看着挺有食欲的这个东西，就是直接这样
啊，
吃是吗？
直接吃。
我试一下。
啊，小心那个控制不了。
有点烫。
等一会儿我们的那个新郎官还要吃啊，好戏还在后头啊。
新郎官要吃这个东西。
对。
为什么要让新郎官吃这个东西？
新郎官也吃吧，反正他是我们的家里的女婿嘛，这个，对吧？哎呦，
那我先吃了。
你先吃嘛，你是客人嘛，对吧？你先吃，完了后新郎官在后头吃啊。
好吃这个。
好吃吧？
While we're still pondering the nettle bags, the groom's procession has arrived. The groom's parents and Mr. Dong, the matchmaker, have been waiting for them. This custom of receiving the bride has been passed down through generations as a blessing of happiness for the couple. After the groom and bride bow to heaven and earth, they're escorted to the kitchen by relatives. The wedding ground is then left to the matchmaker. Following two customs, people gather around the matchmaker to sing songs of gratitude to him. The groom's parents feed him with barley noodles and smear butter on his forehead to show their appreciation. Barley noodles and butter show a reverence to their former nomadic tradition. When the bride comes to the kitchen, her mother-in-law holds a rolling pin tied with red threads and chants to the bride, "Please bear in mind to not spread gossip. Don't backbite. Remember, a closed mouth will keep you out of trouble." The bride nods and drinks the milk tea as a symbolic gesture of carrying on the family line. The hot nettle bags, specially made by the bride, are ready. It's time to test the groom. The nettle stuffing is only half cooked. The groom has to eat it all without spilling any filling on his clothes. It's a test of the groom's intelligence and tolerance of the mistakes that his wife may make while they're married. For the newlyweds, this marks the start of a new life together. The Nadun Festival has been held in Guangting every year. The two people, thanks to their colorful costumes and charming customs, are nicknamed the Rainbow Nationality. Though they don't have a written language, they have recorded their history through their cherished traditions.